Chat, we got Sunny V2, the slow, painful, greedy death of Angry Birds, bruh. Do you know how long this game has been on the App Store? Do you know how long and how big this game got? Pause. Yeah, this was actually one of like the top, I want to say top 5 games, bro, on the App Store. It was Angry Birds, Temple Run, Jetpack Guy, Minecraft Pocket Edition, I think at some point. Chat, give me another one, bro. There has to be a top 5. There's a 5. There is I don't remember. Oh, there it is. Cut the Rope. That's the one I was thinking about. Pokemon Go, bro, when this game came out, it literally unified the world, bro. Everyone actually touched grass at the same time. Fire. Subway Surfers was really good as well. But yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But anyway, shout out to Sunny V2. There will be a link to the original video down below. Go check it out.
Back in 2011, Angry Birds was everywhere. They had multiple different games, toys, and movies, generating hundreds of millions of dollars. But by 2019, they were firing masses of staff, and since then things have only gotten worse. Perhaps it's just karma for stealing the initial idea. Angry Birds wasn't an original concept. In April 2009, a game was released named Crush the Castle, which required players to fire a trebuchet into wooden structures.
I played this before.
People. Well, 8 months later, in December 2009, game developer Rovio made an app named Angry Birds, which, while clearly being a ripoff, was better in every way. It had cooler, cleaner.
Well, is that a bad thing? I feel like a lot of people do that. You know, you take and kind of add your own spin to it. Now, if they deliberately like stole the idea, because there's a difference between stealing something and getting inspired by it. And a lot of people do that, bro. A lot of, you know, YouTubers do the same thing. They take an idea, put a spin on it. Artists do the same thing. They take a beat or a style and then put their take on it. And that's what it is. That's what creativity is nowadays. But if you do make something from scratch, you invent a new thing, bro, I find that to be insane. Because, you know, bro, I don't know. I could talk about that forever, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But this, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? If this was inspired by it, I get it.
Animated graphics and different stages, each with different levels. You got points for every enemy killed and points for every bird you didn't use, giving players the chance to compete for high scores. Throw in 5 different birds with 5 different abilities, as well as a cool, catchy soundtrack, and it's easy to see that Angry Birds was better.
Fire!
They developed 51 games prior to Angry Birds.
Damn!
None of which saw even the smallest bit of success.
Huh? Need for Speed Carbon. What do you mean they didn't see the success? That game is fire. Wait, what else? What else? Hold on.
Or even the smallest bit of success. Therefore, when Angry Birds took only 2 months to become the #1 paid app in 60 countries, they understandably took the chance to milk it. Then make loads of different varieties like Angry Birds Seasons, Angry Birds Space, and Angry Birds Star Wars, helping it become the #1 paid app in Apple's App Store with 6 to 7 million paid downloads.
Hey, that don't seem like gritty to me. That seems like you're capitalizing off of, you know, the rise. And I wonder how games were back then. Could they add more to Angry Birds, or did they actually have to make a new game? Because then if that's the case, if you can add more to Angry Birds, then I can see how it could be greedy. But is it greedy or is it smart though? Think about it. You're not harming anybody. You're just making a new game, having them paid for it. Sure, it's the same thing as the first Angry Birds, but now it's just a different, you know, theme to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, do you guys consider that greedy or do you consider it smart? Because you can take the original one, right? Angry Birds, and add to it, right? Kind of like DLCs, new seasons, new themes. Or you can make a new game similar to the first one, just a different theme. Kind of seems lazy, but kind of smart. I don't know.
By the end of Angry Birds' first year, they'd made $10 million US, but players still demanded more. We have so many fans who have asked for the plush toys, so these are going to be available in a couple of weeks. And we're really trying to build Angry Birds into this entertainment franchise. It took only 4 months before that announced 60,000 Angry Birds soft toys have been sold, as the game itself became the best-selling paid app of all time.
Fire.
Within Angry Birds itself, that implement microtransactions like Mighty Eagle, which allowed players to pay to clear entire levels. With celebs like Justin Bieber even advocating for it, Angry Birds made $100 million in 2011 and went from 28 employees in the beginning of the year to 224 employees by the end of 2011.
Not bad. Not bad. Right now, I'm trying to see it for how, like, you know, greedy it may be. But right now, I think he's just explaining the rise of it. So I'm kind of approaching it a little, you know, different. I shouldn't be thinking, how is this greedy, when I don't even think he's showing me anything yet. But anyways, whatever. Scratch that. Yeah, so far it's just success, bro. They're just trying to capitalize off the success. So far so good.
5 months later, they set a new world record.
Fire!
First mobile game series to reach 1 billion downloads.
Yes!
They'd double their revenue again by the end of 2012, at which point they started to face a serious problem.
Oh, here we go.
The game was getting stale. They'd made multiple different Angry Birds versions, but hadn't changed the concept in over 3 years.
Damn.
As a result, in the following year, their profits more than halved, with Angry Birds falling to 59th in the App Store, forcing the franchise to try a new format.
Okay, what
They'd
you
release
got?
Angry Birds Go at the end of 2013, and while this was somewhat of a Mario Kart ripoff, people absolutely loved it.
So, I mean, it's fun. It is good fun. It looks good. It plays well.
Professional reviewers gave it 7.7, while people on Reddit called it their favorite Angry Birds game.
Not bad.
And perfection at its finest.
That's good.
Rovio therefore continued to experiment, releasing an RPG game named Angry Birds Epic, which again received incredible reviews, reading, "The latest Angry Birds title is a welcome addition to a franchise, which hasn't seen much change since its inception back in 2009.
Hey.
Similarly, users said it might be the
A
best
10. Oh, wow. Listen, I have not. Whoa, this game might be the best RPG title I've ever played in terms of mobile games, I guess. But yo, this is really good. Wait, oh yeah, I can't see it. Look, they give it a 10, bruh. That's fire. What was I gonna say? I feel like it is okay for something to, you know, lose interest, lose value, lose an audience. Like, I don't think falling off sometimes is a bad thing, because especially if it just happened naturally. Like, okay, the game is stale. Well, then it did its thing, right? If Angry Birds, you release the app, you release the game, and it goes off, it goes crazy, obviously you're gonna try to do what you can to capitalize off of it, whatever. But if it falls off naturally, then that is okay. I find that to be beautiful, right? It did its thing. That's it. The fact that its revenue went down by half and it went to number 59, I think that's fine. But good on them though, on like putting a spin on it and making a good different type of like games and just, you know,
PG title I've ever played.
That's fine.
And
Okay,
honestly,
cool.
a pretty solid time. I think the approach they went with here really worked and paid off.
The only problem was, these games didn't sell merch like the original Slingshot format.
And that's okay.
Therefore, merchandise sales plummeted, while total 2014 revenue dropped, and profits fell 73% to 10 million euros.
Damn. Wait, hold on. These are still pretty good numbers though. Finnish developer Rovio said its 2014 revenue dropped to 158 million euros, which is 169 million from 173. So it dropped about 10, 12, 13, 14 million. That's okay. Merchandise sales plummeted to 41 million euros from 73 million. And that is okay. Chat, give me some money, bro. And I'm telling you, like, these numbers will not affect me. Obviously, as a company, I'm gonna try my best to improve it. But if you can't, you can't. It did its thing. You know what I'm saying? Bro said, no, don't give me no money. I don't know. I just, you know, sometimes you see these things happen and a company falls off, or a toy this, whatever that falls off, whatever. And I'm just looking at it like, okay, isn't that fine? If it did its thing, it played its course, it brought value to the company. For me, if I were a CEO, I'd be like, okay, then we good. We chilling.
As a
What's up,
result,
Jaden?
media outlets reported, Rovio lays off 110 people as Angry Birds hype fades,
Cool.
representing 14% of the company's workforce.
Fire.
They try to fix their decline with yet another experiment, Angry Birds Pop, which was pretty unsuccessful.
Yeah,
In a
this-
Reddit thread asking, out of all the Angry Birds games, which one do you think is the worst? Pop was mentioned many times over. Therefore, they'd
It
go
looks
back
lazy.
to basics and put out Angry Birds 2, the official sequel, although many called it a downgrade from the original.
Damn.
The sequel was filled to the brim with microtransactions, clearly annoying the fan base.
Yeah, microtransactions ruined a lot of games when they started becoming a thing. Oh my god, bro. It ruined Halo for me through Halo 5. I thought that was pretty annoying. It ruined Destiny. It ruined Assassin's Creed. Like, are you kidding me? But you guys know what it is, bro. Microtransactions are just bad, especially if they're done in a way where it's very invasive to the player. If I log in, oh my god, Call of Duty is a perfect example. For me to play multiplayer, and I don't play Call of Duty anymore. I dropped that shit like 5 years ago. But it got to a point where if I wanted to play multiplayer, I had to go to like 4 screens, exit out of mad stuff. Here is this, new season, new this, battle pass, here's this. Like, bro, relax. Give me a menu, let me click on it, and let me get in my game. It should be optional. Games that do it where it's optional and obviously has cosmetics, do it good. Battle passes ruined modern gaming. Yes, I think Fortnite actually ruined modern gaming because Fortnite was so good, was such a good game that everybody wanted to be like it, and that's what ruined it. Imagine a good game ruined everything else. That's funny. But yeah, when it becomes invasive, when it's too predatory, or when the game solely focuses on microtransactions instead of like the value or like the gameplay of the game, and it's just like, bro, you just want my money. That's what happened to Overwatch 2. Y'all promised on a new game. That shit was not. It took Marvel Rivals for y'all to finally do something?
The sequel was filled to the brim with microtransactions,
I don't even want to talk about it.
Clearly annoying the fan base who wrote, "This is a very greedy game that keeps sucking money out of you.
Yup.
If you play well, the game becomes harder and harder until it's impossible, and then you either have to replay each level 10 times or buy gems. The game
they
is
give it a
just
0.
trying to throw you off balance and get under your skin so that you pay more."
Tough.
The official IGN review said the game took significant steps backward for the massively popular series. Angry Birds 2 is missing key parts of what made previous games so universally compelling to gamers both hardcore and casual, young and old. Still, due to its intense monetization, Angry Birds 2 became their highest earning game.
Wait,
Surprisingly,
deadass?
however, that very same year, that announced losses of almost 15 million
But what the
would
hell?
fire a further third of their workforce, this time being over 200 people.
But what
This
the-
seemed to imply that Angry Birds was dead until they'd make an unexpected comeback.
Ooh.
Turns out they'd spent the previous 3 years privately developing the Angry Birds movie. At a cost of 73 million, they'd made a risky bet, but with a star-studded cast.
Yo,
and a
that is a very risky. Wow. But if animated right, I didn't even watch the movie to be honest, so I can't really say nothing. But whatever, if animated right, then it could do it. And look at this cast, bro. It's actually packed.
fun little story, the Angry Birds movie did surprisingly well. It made over 350
What?
million from its 70 million budget
Oh my-
and put Angry Birds back into the public spotlight. People began replaying their previously released games, while Angry Birds theme parks popped up in different countries. Media outlets reported Rovio Games had its best year ever in 2016. However, the
Oi.
gaming releases that Angry Birds was known for was still declining in quality.
Uh-oh.
In his video, I played and ranked every Angry Birds game so you don't have to, Jake Miller talks about Angry Birds action,
Angry Birds Action was the start of using the new anthropomorphic designs from the movies in
But
their
what the
games,
hell?
which I think most fans agree was the real beginning of the end for the series.
which happened to be the first game after the movie. Similarly, in the Reddit thread asking about the worst Angry Birds game, one user implied it was most of them
Literally
after the movie's release. Said games included Angry Birds Fight, aka a Candy Crush ripoff, as well as
There you go. Thank you. I was gonna mention Candy Crush, bro. That game broke so many records, got so much money, bro. It's just a match 3 game. That is crazy.
Angry Birds match, which was described as extremely bland. However, thankfully for Rovio, their older titles were still extremely popular, with Angry Birds 2's revenue growing 47% in 2018,
Yo!
despite it being over 3 years old. This gave them the budget to make a second movie. However, their $65 million bet didn't pay off so well this time.
Oh.
Forbes wrote Angry Birds 2 is worse than the original in nearly every way, whilst Rotten Tomatoes critics added, a distressingly ineffective sequel that grows less and less interesting and more tiresome as it unfolds.
Oh.
Still, the movie made a profit of 82 million, right as the company was making some weird changes.
Okay, that's
Despite
good.
their older games being low maintenance, Rovio decided to completely stop updating them.
What?
Then, without explanation, some of the older beloved titles, including the original Angry Birds, were deleted from the App Store.
What?
When people began to talk about what they'd done,
This must have been a marketing move. No, wait, they're actually so dumb. Seriously, because if the earlier games were always the popular ones, why not then go back to capitalize off of the update those? Make those the main game. Are you stupid? Looks to me like you stupid, bro. And this better be a marketing move for something bigger. Let's see.
People made compilations stating Angry Birds was dead. There were comments like, "Remember when Rovio actually cared?" whilst hashtag #BringBack2012 began to trend on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Things got so bad that Rovio apologized, stating they only did it as maintaining the highest quality of updates and live operations isn't possible with our older games. In response to the backlash, that announced they planned on redeveloping Angry Birds Classic, which was re-released on the App Store in 2022.
Oh, this time
but
for
at a price
$2.
of $1.99 with no in-game purchases. They'd changed Classic's name to Red's First Flight, making it harder to find in the App Store, thus prompting players to buy the newer, more profitable games. This successfully fooled some people who struggled to find it on the App Store. However, others knew exactly what Angry Birds was doing. They got rid of the old ones so that you would have no other choice than to play the modern Candy Crush-esque games.
Bro, what? Okay, there is the greed. Bro, you have a fan base. You have a fan base which show Angry Birds game. As long as you keep people within your ecosystem, you win. Sure, there's not any microtransactions or whatever on the first one, but you can at least add ads so you could generate some sort of money from it. Doing this is just gonna create more negativity.
So that you would have no other choice than to play the modern
Stop
Candy
forcing people to do
Crush-esque
shit.
They despised the games that made the company and so lost its spirit. Rovio basically confirmed this,
Chasing revenue. Disgusting.
openly stating they changed the name due to the game's impact on our wider games portfolio.
Who cares?
They further requested that fans continue to bring that passion to our live Angry Birds slingshot games, such as Angry Birds 2. However, players weren't too happy.
Nah.
We hope those fans can continue to bring that passion to our other games which have been designed to be more psychologically manipulative and stuffed with more microtransactions. Fixed it for you. The drama was so severe, it seemingly halted any future games. As Angry Birds Classic is still the most recent title, released way back in 2022. In 2023, Rovio was sold to Sega, although this has done little to fix their reputation. One recent tweet expressed, "I very much still love Angry Birds. That said, the current state of it is dog shit. My hope for the franchise is at an all-time low right now. I'll just continue to enjoy what I love about it, but it's sad to see what it's become." Despite everything, Angry Birds isn't finished, as they just announced they're making a third movie, although with the rest of the franchise in decline, its performance might be interesting.
I feel like, again, when it comes to animated movies, if you can make it very interesting, as long as it's fun and funny, it's like a family event where, you know, parents can bring their kids. Bro, I think, yeah, bro. As long as it's fine, you know what I'm saying? I don't think the games will impact it as much. It's always word of mouth, bro. If you could just make a good product, people will talk about it. And if they talk about it, you're gonna get the money. That's why I always say, bro, if you move with genuine intentions, the money will come. Just give the people what they want. Not all the time, obviously, but if they want the classic, give them the classic. Keep them within your ecosystem so they're always attached to it. And then, oh my God, the same people that were always attached to your thing will actually go and pull up to your movies. Anyways, dumbass company. Well, at least they sold it for almost $1 billion. Shout out to Sunny Beats, so fire video. You know what I'm saying? What a nostalgia hit. Back when app games were simple yet fun and didn't spam you with an ad every 15 seconds. Oh my God, that's facts, bro. Now, if you die, you gotta watch an ad. Now, if you do your dailies, I don't know, let's just say 5 dailies, 10 dailies, right? Boom, you're done with that. You have no stamina no more. You have no energy no more. So what you gotta do, you gotta spend money. You gotta spend some sort of premium currency, which you can only get through who knows what, or paying for it. So they always find a way to keep you into these games, bro. We're gonna delete all the games we've made that people like from the App Store, so people like us more. Bro, what the hell? Okay. Cool video. Sonny, we love you, man. Yo.